Hello everyone, I am going to show you how you can use your calculator to program it to find the slope of a line. Now you should only do this when you really know how to find the slope on your own using 2 points. Do it frequently enough that it's like muscle memory and you don't have to look up the formula or try to remember to put the y's on the top and the x's on the bottom or anything like that. But once you know how to do it, it's nice to program a calculator to speed it up and to check your work. So the first thing we do to program is, guess what? Hit this red button here that's temporarily red because I just hit it. I'll clear that out for a second. Hit the program button and you'll see this stands for execute and edit and new. We are going to make a new program, so I'm going to arrow over to new and then just hit enter. And I get to name it. This flashing A stands for alpha mode. It's the mode you get when you normally hit this green button over here, but it is expecting letters, so it's automatically in alpha mode. And I'm just going to call it slope find. So you can see the letters are here in green, so I have to just remember my alphabet. There's the S, there is the L, there's the O, P, E, and then F-I-N-D, F, I, N, and D. You're only allowed 8 letters. Oops. I don't know why I did F-I. I need F and D. You're only allowed 8 letters is what I was saying. So F, then N, and D. And then D. Come on. D. And then I just hit enter. And now it's been named slope find. This colon here is the way you start a new line of coding. You guys are all now computer coders, okay? So what we need to do is sometimes we'll have a statement that tells us what this program is. We can add fancy bells and whistles later. We just want to make this do right now what we want it to do. And so I need to input coordinates. I need to input my first point and my second point. And each point has 2 coordinates. So we're going to input 4 numbers. Everything goes through this programming key. So I hit the program key again, and then this I and O stands for input output. So I arrow over, and that looks like an obvious choice, input. However, prompt is kind of a nice one because it helps us and does sort of 2 things at once. It'll give us the letter that we're going to input and then a question mark. So if I hit 2, I get prompt. And then what I'm going to prompt it to do is it's going to give me like the first coordinate. That would be like our x1. I'm just going to give that a letter. So I'm going to do alpha A. So what we're going to get is that letter A and then a question mark. So maybe we'll need to explain later that A stands for the first coordinate, the x1. And I'm not going to type in x1. That just overcomplicates it. So this is very simple. Then if I want to have a comma here, and I put in alpha B, this is going to give me the first point. So that's going to be my x1 and my y1. Now I just hit enter, and you see I get another line of code. Well, I'm going to do the exact same thing for my second point. Can you guess what it's going to be? That's right, it's going to be C and D. So I go program, over to input and output. I choose 2 again. I just hit the number 2, or I can arrow down if I want. And then I'm going to do alpha, and then the letter C, which is in green above that, and then the comma above the 7. You have to watch me slowly here, quickly, carefully. And then alpha, and then the D. And I am now able to input both of those. Okay? So once the computer has these 2 points plugged in, let's do the math and find the slope. So I hit enter, and now I'm going to just do that slope formula. So what is it? It's going to be the difference in my y values, that's B and D, over the difference in my x values, that's the A and the C. So I need to remember the PEMDAS rules. I need parentheses. So I'm going to do B, so I do alpha and then the B. And then here's the subtraction key. Don't use that one down there. That's the negative key. It would multiply by a negative. I want to actually just subtract the D value. So don't mix up your letters. And then I close the parentheses and I divide that by the change in the X values. I need to keep them in the same order. So if I started with B, I'm going to start with A, alpha A, and then minus, and then alpha, and C is going to be my other x value. Okay, that will be the slope. That's going to be a decimal, all right? And the way we work with this in the computer is we have to have the computer store this, and that is the STO key down there. That stands for store. It has an arrow, so it's going to take and put it into, let's give it a new letter, and I've got a genius idea. Let's call that M, because M stands for slope. So that's going to store M. Now I just hit enter, and now all I want to do is display that answer. I want to have the computer tell me what the answer is. So again, everything goes through program, hit program. Then I go to input output, because now I want to output. So I hit number 3, or I can just arrow down twice if I like hitting arrows, and I hit enter, and there's the display. I want it to display M. Okay, so I go alpha, and then I go M. All right, now I hit enter, and that's basically my program. I've put those 2 points in, I've done the processing, and I output. So I just, when I want to run it, I just go quit. If I make a mistake and I want to just like, oh my goodness, I typed in something wrong, I just am going to quit. So I go second, quit, and then you get a blank screen, or you can hit clear. When in doubt, quit out, and then just start over and see program. Now I don't want to execute the program right away. Let's pretend I've made a mistake. So I go over to edit my program. I'm not going to create a new program. I'm going to just edit it, and I can then get back into it. Okay, so and then I could make my changes and make a correction. All right, but now I'm going to quit again, and now I'm going to hit program. Now I'm going to actually execute my program. So pick 2 points from the homework or something like that, and this is our program slope find. So I have to say yes, I want to do that. I hit enter, and now it's going to ask me for coordinates. Okay, so let's pretend we've got the point. We can maybe make it super easy. Let's say it's 0, 0. So this is just the origin, and there's my other point at the origin. And now let's say I'm going to go over 4 and up 3. Okay, so I'm going to go, my next x value is 4, and my next y value is 3. And when I hit enter, it's going to give me back the slope. And what should that slope be? If I go over 4 and up 3, that's a rise of 3 and a run of 4. That should be 0.75. And there it is. There's my slope. Now this is nothing fancy. I haven't put any words in. I haven't, explained it. There are ways to do that. I'll show you just briefly, and then you can take it from here with one other little piece of flair. Okay, so if I go back to edit, so I go program, and then I go to edit, I hit enter. One really nice thing about the calculator is that it can display things as a fraction. I might not want it as 0.75. If possible, I might want it to be a fraction. So I hit the math button, and the first option there is into fraction. So there it's going to display that 0.75 as the fraction 3/4. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to maybe, if I make a mistake and I want to insert something, I can go to the place where I want my new thing to be that I maybe made a mistake or forgot. I can just delete everything if I want. It automatically saves your work. You never have to save it. But if I do second, and then the delete key is the opposite of delete, it's insert. And then if I hit enter, you can see that it enters a blank line up there. So that was, once again, it was second, and delete is the insert. So if I even want to go part way along somewhere, like if I want to go up here to this and I want to put something like maybe I got this symbol wrong and I accidentally delete that. Oh, now I have to put it in there. I just do second, insert, and you'll see it'll give it to me. I hit, oh, come on you, enter, second, insert, enter. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, this is my computer emulator. I'm going to do it one more time. Second, insert. Wow. I'm going to have to figure that out. This is my computer issue. Your calculators will not do that. Let me try again after this. I'm going to put down here a description saying the slope is. So I go to stat, and then I go to program, and then I go over to input output, and I just do display for 3. And this is what the computer is going to display. And anything that's in quotation marks, Okay, anything that's in quotation marks will be displayed as words or letters. So the quotation mark is down here, and it's under the green, so I go green, quotation mark, then slope is, or something like that. So I'm going to lock it. Second alpha locks it into alphabet mode, so I don't have to keep hitting that alpha button, but I'm just going to say slope, S-L-O-P-E. Then a space is right down here above the zero, slope, and then I-S, slope is, and then I have to end the quote, and now I'm good. Okay. Now the problem is I still have to fix my thing up here that I tried to show off with the BD. Let's see if it works now. Second insert. Really weird. Normally it'll jump and create a space. I'm just going to, in the interest of time, quickly retype it, which is sometimes what happens, minus, see, then I had to type it. So it won't create a space unless I type in that. I guess it's been about a year since I've done this. Apologies. This should work now. If I do second and quit, okay, now I do program and execute, and I say yes, I want to do slope find, and let's try 1, 1, that's my 0.11, and let's try going over 5 and then up 4. So this should give us the same slope, because instead of going from 0, 0 to 4, 3, we're going to go from 1, 1 to 5, 4, and I should get a good fraction. There it is, 3/4. We're done. All right. Hopefully you can get that working, and I can help if you need. Bye-bye.